is some view, isn't it? Looking way back over the hills and valleys of Columbia County from the upper campus, once again, of Bloomsburg University in Bloomsburg. This is where the 2012 American Red Cross Heroes Breakfast was just held, and where we heard some amazing stories of selfless acts and, of course, heroism. You are looking at the American Red Cross Hero Class of 2012 for the greater Berwick, Bloomsburg, and Danville areas. These people were all in the right place at the right time in an emergency situation and jumped into action to try and help someone in need. And they did so without regard to their own safety or well-being. For their efforts, the American Red Cross held a breakfast in their honor and to publicly recognize them for their heroic efforts. One by one, heroes were called to the stage to be recognized for their efforts, and the stories told about their acts were at once amazing and touching. Heroes like Hannah Rupp of Danville, who saved a 5-year-old boy from drowning. While working as a lifeguard at a community pool, she noticed the child face down and not moving. She quickly got the boy out of the pool and performed CPR to bring him back. Then there were the actions of Crystal Johnson, David Lagomarsino, and Jeremy Talanka, who could not attend the ceremony. As explained by Berwick Fire Department Public Information Officer Bridget Coolbaugh, Crystal and David were driving past the apartments above the former Wings and Things restaurant in Berwick, while Jeremy was across the street. They all noticed smoke and fire coming from one of the 6 apartments in that building. All 3 ran into the structure and got the 10 adults and 6 children, many of whom were still sleeping, out safely by banging on doors and alerting them of the fire. The Bloomsburg Fire Department water rescue team was recognized for their efforts in saving the life of one of 2 men caught in whitewater while kayaking at Boone's Dam behind the Bloomsburg Fairgrounds. Deborah Kupferschmidt saved the life of her mother, Edwina, who began choking on a sandwich while at a local Berwick restaurant. Deborah was able to use the Heimlich maneuver to dislodge the food just as her mother began to lose consciousness. Also in Berwick, when a car jack collapsed over David Woodward, trapping him underneath the car, neighbor Tim Henry and his daughter Taylor heard his cries for help and rushed to his aid. While Taylor called 911, Tim jacked the car back up off of David and stayed with him until help arrived. Even animals owe their lives to some of our heroes. For instance, when a golden retriever fell through the ice into Fishing Creek in Bloomsburg, Montour Township Police Chief Terry Eckert and Bloomsburg officers Bradley Sharrow and Todd Bellis all worked to get the dog safely to shore. And in Berwick, Fire Chief Bill Coolbaugh worked to save the life of 2 dogs caught up in a Nescapec fire. The chief gave one dog mouth-to-snout CPR and did chest compressions to try to save the dog, but while it did regain consciousness briefly, the dog sadly did not survive. Yet, another dog brought up by fire personnel did survive after getting oxygen. Afterwards, Coolbaugh was heard to say, "You have to do everything you can for every family member." Elsewhere, in Mahoning Township near Danville, Southside Fire Company Chief Butch Kreiner and DH&L Fire Company members Chris Epley and Eric Buck were passing a vehicle fire on their way to work and stopped to help get the driver, David Ackley, out of the burning car before he could be injured. And in Locust Township, Laura Gleason, who could not attend the ceremony, was recognized for her efforts in helping to save a man who was trapped in his vehicle and not breathing following an accident. She helped other rescuers get him breathing again and then stayed with the man in the cold rain throughout the entire ordeal. And lastly, some people who helped out immensely during last fall's flooding in Columbia County were recognized for doing their duty and going beyond it. Local National Guard and Reserve Troops, B Company, Battalion 103rd Armored Regiment, A Company, 55th Brigade Special Troops Battalion, and 228th Brigade Support Battalion, E Company, and F Company were instrumental in getting water and supplies to those in need. They also did water rescues. They directed traffic around affected areas, and they enforced curfews in the area. And through it all, their efforts helped ensure that no lives were lost during the worst disaster this area has ever experienced. Several representatives were on hand to accept the thanks of the Red Cross and, of course, the residents of Columbia and Montour counties. Following the ceremony, a few of the recipients stopped to talk with us about the experience.
This is a great opportunity to honor the soldiers who were actually out there in the streets, sometimes swimming, fording deep water, and it's a very good opportunity for them to be recognized. And I was honored to be able to come here and speak on behalf of them.
How do you guys feel about getting this award?
It's an honor. I mean, not every day everybody else gets an award like this from the Red Cross, but we did what was natural to us for that day of July 15th.
It's very nice. It was, like I said, it was a shock when I got the paperwork. I mean, I've been coming to this probably about 6-7 years now, nominated several award recipients throughout the years, so when I received the letter, I just took it as basically I was being invited again until my wife actually says, "Did you read this?" Because I had no idea, you know, and it's an honor. It's an honor. It actually is. It's great.
I'm very honored. I didn't expect it, and it's just we're doing our job every day, and sometimes, you know, it's nice to be recognized.
In closing, here's hoping that you and I will be able to act as quickly and selflessly as the 2012 class of Red Cross heroes, if an emergency situation should arise in your life. And we would be remiss if we did not thank the everyday heroes in our communities. Those are the staff and the volunteers of the American Red Cross offices across Northeast Pennsylvania. Thank you for everything you do day in and day out. And once again, congratulations to all the hero recipients. That'll do it for this episode of MetroCasting. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Doug Farley. We'll see you again after later.